In the previous lecture we have discussed about the inductive effect. Now in this lecture we will discuss about the different consequences of the inductive effect. Okay, so see, there are two types of inductive effects actually works. Okay, one is minus I effect that and plus I effect. Okay, minus I and as well as the plus I effect. Okay, minus I means minus inductive effect, whereas plus means plus inductive effect. With the help of one example each, we will describe the minus I and as well as the plus I effects. So let's go with the help of one example. Yesterday I have taken the same example, right? So today also I will take the same example such that everything is clear to you. So in the place of chlorine you can take fluorine, bromine and iodine also. Okay, iodine also. Why? Because see, this fluorine, bromine and iodine and as well as the chlorine, the electronegativity difference between this atom and carbon is very high. The electronegativity of carbon is very less, and whereas the electronegativity of chlorine is very high comparatively. Okay, so see, electrons, now the movement of electrons we will check. So movement of electron is from right to left, that is from this carbon to the chlorine atom. Okay, the electrons are moving right side. So why? Because the chlorine is the most electronegative atom. It is pulling the electron towards itself. That's why pulling of electrons is happening. That's why we call this effect as minus I. We represent it minus I. Why? Because electrons are moving away. Towards the chlorine atom. Okay, towards the chlorine atom. This effect is minus I. Okay, so see here, you know the charges. This is del minus and this is del plus. You know very well, this is double del. Okay, you know very well, we have discussed, right? So electrons are migrating from the shared pair towards the chlorine atom. This effect we call it as minus I effect. Let's go for plus I effect. So what is happening in the plus sign? Let's see that with the help of one example. So you know very well Grignard reagent and Gell-Mann reagent. So what is Grignard reagent? Okay, Grignard reagent general formula is RMgX. Okay, RMgX. R represent any alkyl group. And X represent halogen. So this is the general formula of the Grignard reagent. Okay, so please make a note of this Grignard reagent, very important it is. Okay, RMgX. So this is the general formula. Now I will move on to the actual formula. Okay, so I am erasing it. As I was talking about the Grignard reagent, it is RMgX, right? RMgX. Okay, alkyl magnesium halide. So I will take an example of methyl. In the place of R, I am taking methyl, magnesium. In the place of halogen, in the place of X, I am taking it as chlorine. You can take bromine, iodine. Okay, you can take bromine and iodine also. So I will represent like this: methyl, magnesium, chloride. Actually carbon is directly bonded here. CH3. Okay, CH3. Anything is fine. So see here, being magnesium a metal. Okay, so what is the metal? Metal has the tendency of electropositive nature. Metal possess electropositive nature. That means metals are ready to donate electrons. Okay, here the formal charge of magnesium is +2. Whereas for chlorine is minus. In order to compensate, see here is +2. Here we only have -1. So there is no electrical neutrality. In order to maintain electrical neutrality, this carbon atom also, like the charge, we denote as -1. Now see, -1, -2. So -2 + 2 cancel. So in order to maintain electrical neutrality, we distribute the charges like this. Okay, so obviously we are getting minus charge for this carbon atom, whereas here see, we have taken another example, right, for minus I, that is CH3 CH2 Cl. Here we are getting del minus, here we are getting del plus. This carbon we are getting positive charge, whereas this carbon we are getting minus charge. That means electrons are moving towards the carbon atom, that is from right to, that is from left to right, that is right to left, sorry, right to left. Okay, opposite to that of the minus I effect. Okay, so we can justify that the inductive effect, that is minus I effect, is exactly opposite with respect to plus I effect. Okay, understood? So I will write the groups, I will write the groups of minus I and as well as the plus I groups. Okay, plus I groups. So see here, minus I group, here I am writing minus I, here I am writing plus I. Minus I means away from the carbon atom, whereas plus I means towards the carbon atom, away from the carbon atom. Halogens, first one is halogens, you know halogens, chlorine, fluorine, bromine, iodine. Okay, second thing is what you can write, electron withdrawing groups. Electron with, that is it pulls the electron towards itself, that groups, mainly that groups are NO2 group, okay, nitro group, and another one is aldehyde group, CH3, CHO, you can take any aldehyde group, okay, esters, etc. Okay, so I will discuss in applications, more number of examples I will discuss in applications. Next one, plus I effect. What you can think of plus I effect? First one is, I have told you, right, metals can donate. So if at all metals are present in the system, they will donate definitely to the carbon atom. Metals, why? Because see, metals are electropositive in nature. Second one, what you can think of? Amines, NH2, amines. Okay, amines having lone pair of electrons, they can effectively donate the electron pair. So we will discuss all these effects in applications. Okay, you may be wondering what is minus I and what is plus I. So in applications you will understand what is minus I and as well as plus I. So up to now I think you have understood the inductive effect concept. So in application part you can understand better minus I effects, minus I effect and plus I. You know very well what is minus I and plus I. So minus I, like all halogens, and second one, electron withdrawing groups. Okay, electron withdrawing groups. So electron withdrawing groups are basically nitro group, and see aldehyde group, CHO group, aldehyde, ketone, ester, etc. Cyanide also sometimes, etc. Okay, so these are electron withdrawing groups and minus I groups. Okay, so plus I have we can say metals. Basically the most widely used metals are lithium and magnesium. Okay, lithium means Gilman reagent will come, whereas magnesium means Grignard reagent will come. Okay, I will discuss in the reagent part. Okay, so these are minus I and as well as the plus I groups. Now we will move on to the, see, minus I, minus I and plus I, and next one we can say is alkyl groups, R groups, alkyl. Okay, alkyl groups also comes under plus I groups. Why? Because in alkyl groups there are more sigma bonds. Okay, in alkyl groups more sigma bonds, that means more number of electrons are present. So we can say alkyl groups are electron rich. Alkyl groups are electron rich, they can easily donate, Now we will move to the application part. It is very important. Okay, till now the concept is complete, that is inductive effect. Now we will apply the inductive effect. So applications of inductive effect. Applications of inductive effect. So under the application, first and foremost thing is acidity of carboxylic acids. Acidity of carboxylic acids we need to discuss. Acidity of carboxylic acids, effect of inductiveness in the acidity of carboxylic acids we need to discuss. Next one is basicity of amine. Basicity of amines or amines, in either the way you can call it. Third one is dipole moment. Dipole moment. Okay, we need to discuss these three things. Okay, so directly we will move to the acidity of carboxylic acid. Acidity of carboxylic acid. Okay, first one is acidity of carboxylic acid. By one we will discuss. One by one we will discuss. First one is acidity of carboxylic acid. Acidity of carboxylic acid, COOH. General formula of carboxylic acid is COOH. Okay, so, COOH or sometimes RCOOH. Okay, sometimes RCOOH. R represents any alkyl group. Okay, R represent any alkyl group. It may be methyl, ethyl, propyl, etc. Okay, R represent any alkyl group. So now we will understand the structure of that acetic acid or carboxylic acid. With the example of acetic acid I am taking here, I am taking the example of acetic acid. CH3 COOH. Okay, CH3 COOH. This is the acetic acid general representation. Okay, so being oxygen a very electronegative element, oxygen is a very electronegative element with 3.5 value in Pauling scale. Okay, whereas for fluorine it is 4.0. Whereas for fluorine it is 4.0, oxygen is 3.5. So that makes the oxygen most electronegative element when compared to carbon. Okay, here oxygen is the most electronegative element. So what it does, oxygen with double bond is there here. If you carefully observe, carbon is doubly bonded with respect to oxygen. Yes or no? So one thing you need to remember here, electronegativity. When we talk about the electronegativity, so electronegativity is in the order, sp hybridization is high electronegative compared to sp2 and sp3. Okay, so simply by this we can say, if S percentage is increases, percentage of S increases, electronegativity also increases. Percentage of S character is increases, electronegativity also increases. Okay, so here sp hybridization, when we talk about, the percentage of S is more, percentage of S and P is almost similar, whereas see here the percentage is decreased when compared to sp. When compared to this, it is still decreased. That's why sp hybridization is more electronegative when compared to sp2 and sp3. So now, so what is there for, sir? What is it? So I will tell you. So see here, this carbon is sp2 hybridized carbon. This carbon is sp2 hybridized carbon. Okay, sp2 hybridized carbon. So what happens here, the electron movement, when you talk about the electron movement, this carbon is attached to oxygen. That makes this carbon more more electron deficient. Why? Because see here, already it is sp2, it attracts more electrons, and see here oxygen, again it pulls the electrons. Okay, so see here, oxygen has lone pair of electrons. Okay, oxygen having lone pair of electrons. Lone pair of electrons are nothing but non-bonding electrons. They will not participate in any kind of bond formation. So what happens, these electrons will migrate here. And this pi bond will be moved towards the oxygen atom. So we will write this structure. What is happening here? CH3 bond C, See this double bond, that pi electrons are moved towards the oxygen atom. That means O minus. Okay, these electrons are into the bond, so double bond we are getting, and O bond H. Oxygen has donated the electrons, that's why I am writing it as positive charge. So again this positive charge, electron deficient, it pulls the electrons from the bond. Okay, it pulls the electron from the shared pair. Okay, so the electrons move towards like this. So in turn making this hydrogen, del positive. Okay, del positive. Any species which liberates proton or hydrogen ion is called as acid. Okay, according to Arrhenius theory, any species which liberates proton is called as acid. So in this way the carboxylic acid is releasing proton or hydrogen ion. That makes this carboxylic acid an acid actually. That makes this carboxylic acid acidic. Clear? Am I clear? So this is all due to the inductive effect. Okay, inductive effect. So inductive effect is applied here. Okay, so due to the inductive effect, this carbonyl group, this group is called as carbonyl. CO group is called carbonyl group. Okay, this carbonyl group will attract the electron from the oxygen atom or the shared pair, in turn liberating the proton. That makes the proton, that makes the carboxylic acid acidic. Okay, am I clear? This is the main representative of the inductive effect. So now we will move to the acidity point of view. So how does acidity changes with respect to different groups? Okay, so now see, for example, take hydrogen fluoride, hydrogen chloride, hydrogen bromide and hydrogen iodide. So these are all halogens. Okay, these are all halogens. Basically these are all acids. Why we are calling it as acids? Why? Because they liberate proton in aqueous medium. Okay, they liberate proton in aqueous medium. HF is exception. I will discuss about the HF in the further classes. Okay, so all liberate proton, that's why we are calling it as an acid actually. Okay, so say for example I will try to draw the structure HF, HCl, HBr, HI. So being the fluorine more electronegative element when compared to all these things, fluorine is highest electronegative than chlorine, then bromine and iodine. Okay, this is the actual order. So acidity is directly proportional to electronegativity. Okay, acidity, you need to note this point. Acidity is directly proportional to electronegativity. Acidity is directly proportional to the electronegativity. Okay, so see here, fluorine being the most electronegative element, it pulls the electron more towards itself. Okay, so here proton will get del positive and fluorine will get del minus. Here also same, but the intensity is less. Chlorine intensity is less when compared to fluorine. Okay, same here, del plus, del minus, del plus, del minus. Okay, intensity is more here. Okay, so now what happens? We can directly say, right, electronegativity is directly proportional to acidity. So HF being more acidic, we can write the acidic character of HF greater than HCl greater than HBr greater than HI. Okay, in aqueous medium, acidity is directly proportional to electronegativity. I will discuss about the HF later classes. That is exception, you need to remember. Okay, so now inductive effect is there or not? Check. Due to the inductive effect only, electrons are moving, displacing. Electrons are displacing from from shared pair towards the electronegative atom. So that is electron displacement. Electron displacement is happening through sigma bond. So electron displacement through sigma bond is called as inductive effect. So there is a inductive effect, I mean there is a effect here. What is that effect? That is inductive effect. Electron movement through sigma bond is called as inductive effect. Electron movement towards sigma bond is called as inductive effect. So due to the inductive effect, these species develop acidity. Okay, these species develop acidity. So inductive effect increases, acidity increases. Okay, I will write here, inductive effect increases, acidity also increases, acidity also increases. Okay, this you need to keep in mind. Okay, I will generalize all the things now. I will generalize all the things now. This video might be lengthy, please be patient. So I will write here, electronegativity. Electronegativity increases, inductive effect also increases, inductive effect also increases. So thereby increasing the acidity, thereby increasing the acidity. So electronegativity is directly proportional to inductive effect, and it is in turn directly proportional to acidity. Very important point to remember. This is very important point to remember. Okay, so electronegativity is directly proportional to inductive effect, and it is in turn directly proportional to its acidity. Okay, in turn directly proportional to its acidity. So if you have noted down, I'll just move on to the next topic. Not the next topic, actually the same topic. That is, we need to see the acidity of carboxylic acids, right? CH3COOH. So if at all I replace one hydrogen atom with one alkyl group, so I will draw the structure like this. CH3, I am writing like this, COOH. This is the actual structure. This is the actual structure. CH3COOH. Okay. So I am replacing one hydrogen atom with one alkyl group. What will happen? Let's see. One hydrogen atom I will remove and replace with methyl group. So this is like, see what is happening here. The oxygen atom bearing the lone pair will donate towards the carbon atom. Okay, towards carbon atom, and this pi bond will go towards the oxygen atom, thereby creating the, here see this carbon atom, what is happening here? There is electron deficiency is there in this carbon atom. Electron deficiency is there in this carbon atom. Why? Because see here, this oxygen, whatever the electrons are donating by this one, it is taking up, that oxygen is taking away. Okay, the electron movement is like this, first like this, again like that. Electron movement is like that, thereby creating the electron deficiency for this carbon. Okay, electron deficiency is there. So this methyl group is there, right? I told you, methyl group or alkyl group has the positive inductive effect. Positive inductive effect means it will donate electrons. Donate electrons to what? Electron deficient species. That alkyl groups will donate or compensate the loss of this carbon atom. Okay, so here see, electrons are, I will draw the clear structure such that you may understand very clearly. So see here, CH3 hydrogen, C double bond OH, right? OH also I will write like this, OH. Okay, so this lone pair will donate the electrons to this bond, thereby these electrons are migrating to this oxygen atom. Okay, here there is a considerable positive charge is generated, considerable positive charge is generated. This positive charge is compensated by this methyl group. If at all it compensates the positive charge, okay, so there is no need for this oxygen to donate electrons, right? So there that decreases, like see for example, this will donate the electrons like this again, okay. Sorry for the disturbance. So there is a considerable positive charge here. That positive charge is compensated by this methyl group, okay, compensated by this methyl group. Why? Because methyl, all alkyl groups will show positive inductive effect. So electron movement again will be reversed, thereby decreasing the chance of hydrogen to liberate, okay. Hydrogen is not liberated effectively, that means acidity is decreases, that means acidity is decreases, acidity decreases if plus I group is present, or directly we can say if plus I groups increases, plus I groups are increased, okay, acidity is decreased. Why? Because this positive charge is compensated by this methyl group, or this is alkyl group. You can keep any alkyl group here, okay. I have kept methyl group for our convenience, okay. Am I clear? Yeah. So if plus I groups are increased, acidity is decreases. What if you replace the plus I group with minus I group? What you replace that plus I group with minus I group? Let's check that what will happen, okay. Let's check that what will happen. Very interesting it is. If you carefully observe, it is very interesting. So what is our actual acetic acid? That is CH3COOH. Okay, now I am replacing one hydrogen with one fluorine. That is CH fluorine C double bond OH. Okay, OH. Okay, so this oxygen atom, same pattern, will donate like this and it will move like that, okay. These pi electrons move towards the oxygen atom, and see here positive charges increased, okay. So here there is a fluorine which is minus I, so fluorine, what will it take? It will pull the electrons towards itself, okay. Electron movement is like this, so the positive charge is still increased, more positive charge is there, so this oxygen will effectively donate to this carbon entity, making this hydrogen atom more free to liberate, See, again I will tell you, see, this minus I is there, right? So it will pull the electron towards itself from the shared pair. So this carbon will be electron deficient. It also pulls towards itself. Why? Because it is electron deficient. It also needs some electrons. So it will pull the electron towards itself. What electrons? It will pull the shared pair electron. That is C bond C electrons. It will pull towards itself. That makes the carbon atom, this carbon atom, more electron deficient. If at all it is more positive charge, the oxygen atom will definitely donate more effectively, that making this hydrogen atom more free to liberate, okay, thereby increasing acidity is increased, okay. So directly I can say, if minus I groups increases, acidity increases, minus I group increases, acidity is increased, okay. So another example I will take. So what if all the hydrogen atoms, that is all the 2 hydrogen atoms again replaced by fluorine atom, what happens? Let's check. So all the hydrogen atoms are replaced by fluorine atoms, C double bond OH. So more number of I groups. So now we can say number of minus I groups increases, acidity is increased, acidity is further increased. Why? Because see, all the fluorine atoms pull the electrons towards itself, pull the electrons towards itself. Okay, thereby this carbon gets positive charge. Again it will attract the CC bond, thereby increasing the positive nature of this carbon atom. So this lone pair will be effectively donated to the carbon atom, thereby making this hydrogen atom more positive charged, thereby making this hydrogen atom more positively charged. So that makes the species more acidic. That makes the species more acidic. Okay, so I can write one generalized form. Okay, so this I'll write C. I will write and explain. CF3COOH. Just now we have seen this example, right? Next we have taken, let's take CF2COOH and one hydrogen atom, and another one CFH2COOH. It is monofluoroacetic acid, difluoroacetic acid, trifluoroacetic acid. Yeah, finally we can say if minus I groups increased, minus I groups are increased, acidity is increased, minus I groups are increased, acidity increased, thereby trifluoroacetic acid. We can call this trifluoroacetic acid as TFA, that is trifluoroacetic acid. So industrially it has very good importance, okay, in deprotecting some functional groups. Okay, it is very strong acid. Okay, it is very strong acid, as strong as sulfuric acid. Okay, it is very strong acid. Why? Because see, minus I groups are more, that's why it is more acidic when compared to the normal acid. Okay, so with this I will just conclude. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, comment and share. Thank you very much.